Good evening and welcome to episode number 2 of Active Defense. I'm Eric. Thank you for joining me as we go over 5 stories of regular people actively defending with a firearm. Please consider subscribing and hitting that notification bell below so that you can be in the loop. Also, please consider commenting below, adding your own thoughts and critiques of the video so I can improve the videos. Please also share these stories with your friends and family, especially those who don't think these situations even happen. Let's get into it. Hello, welcome back to Active Defense, episode number 2. So let's go get into some of our stories over here. Okay, this first one is the Las Vegas Review-Journal. The fatal shooting in parking lot was a clear case of self-defense. The Clark County District Attorney, Steve Wolfson, said Monday that the fatal shooting of a man last month by the head of a Las Vegas motorsports company was a clear case of self-defense. B.J. Baldwin, president of Baldwin Motorsports in Las Vegas and the son of a gaming executive, was having a fast food dinner with a woman in a shopping complex parked at this address. Early on April 22nd, when two men approached, an altercation broke out and gunfire was exchanged, stated Metropolitan Police Department Lieutenant, basically their public information officer. Baldwin shot Joseph Smith, 43, during an exchange. The Las Vegas police report indicates that Smith was accompanied by his brother Kevin. Kevin told police that his brother was upset that morning because of a failed attempt to buy firearms from a gun store in the complex. Prior to the shooting, Kevin said his brother threw rocks at the gun store's front window. The siblings left the shopping complex on Tropicana, then later returned on foot, the police wrote in the report. Kevin had a feeling Joseph was going to do something stupid, but denied knowing what. Well, was found out. Kevin said the siblings saw Baldwin and his acquaintance in the parking lot upon the return. Kevin Smith said Joseph walked up to them, pulled his gun out, and pointed at the female and smiled as he began shooting at the male. The report said Kevin stated Joseph was the first to fire his weapon. Kevin told the police that they did not know the couple, so basically it's a random shooting. This guy was angry and decided to do it. But the story gets better, obviously. Kevin told detectives that the white male shot in self-defense, and should not be charged. Baldwin told police that he feared for his life as Joseph Smith approached. As Joseph Smith got closer, he reached for his firearm toward Baldwin, the report said. When Joseph Smith turned his pistol toward Baldwin, drew his 9mm semi-automatic pistol from the holster on his waist and stepped north, taking cover behind the trash can. So he didn't just start instantly taking fire. He didn't start firing his weapon. He took cover behind a trash can, doing a pretty smart thing, trying to remove or reduce his visibility so he'd be a little bit out of sight and possibly even draw more attention to him so that his girlfriend or wife or whoever it was would not be targeted. Sorry if you hear a lot of moving in the background. My baby boy is kind of walking around, so anyways. Police said Joseph Smith fired 7 times at Baldwin. Baldwin fired 11 times at Smith. Baldwin said he didn't know who shot first. Baldwin also said he did not shoot at Kevin, but who was unharmed. Baldwin, who has a concealed weapon permit, then took off with the woman. The woman, while crying, attempted to call 911 and said, "We were just NA," and hung up to the police. The pair then drove to the house of Baldwin's father, Bobby Baldwin. They then contacted their attorney, who called 911. Now, this is actually a pretty smart move, calling the attorney first, because it helps keep them calm and helps to reinforce their legal options. So they were having a good, strong presence of mind. They were being responsible. He only returned fire, and he was doing very responsible things, and this is pretty consistent with most firearms owners. Police said that Joseph Smith's girlfriend showed up at the scene and found her boyfriend dead. The woman reportedly placed his firearm in her vehicle and later pointed police to it. There was no indication in the police report that she was arrested or charged. Kevin Smith was eventually arrested on a warrant. Las Vegas court records show he was charged with conspiracy to commit robbery, attempted robbery, and assault with a deadly weapon. So this shows what a good, strong, and responsible, well-considered individual with the firearm can do to provide for their own defense. Now continuing on. So Prairie County man held escaped murder suspect at gunpoint. Okay, Des Arc, Arkansas. An escaped murderer was captured Friday morning thanks to 2 armed Prairie County citizens. Agencies all over eastern Arkansas fled to Des Arc Thursday night. This is Des Arc. After Earl Parks escaped the Prairie. The escaped murderer was captured Friday morning thanks to 2 armed Prairie County citizens. Agencies all over eastern Arkansas fled to Des Arc Thursday night after Earl Parks escaped the Prairie County Jail alongside federal inmate Craig Gilliam, whatever, I'll go with Gilliam. They attacked 2 guards and stole their keys. Gilliam was captured no more than 10 minutes later, but Parks was on the run for more than 8 hours. It's a big deal, you know. I put on a phone call and had people falling out of the sky to get me here, said Prairie County Sheriff Rick Hickman. It wasn't a law enforcement officer who captured Parks, but a regular citizen with a gun. This is exactly what I expect to see, hence why I have these stories up on here. A regular citizen with a gun doing what's right. Brad Knupp was just getting to work when he noticed something was off about his old car he was fixing up. He said something didn't look normal to me in the back seat. I looked a little closer and I could tell that this guy was laying down in the back seat of my car, which would be obviously pretty scary. Once he realized it was Parks, Knupp and his father held him at gunpoint until he was taken into custody. Notice he said he held him at gunpoint. He didn't fire his weapon. So they practiced, well, they should have practiced. They were being responsible. They were being, they used minimum of force necessary. They weren't trying to kill the guy. They were just trying to provide for the necessary force to keep the guy under control until law enforcement can get there, exactly as they should have. Until he was taken into custody. Said we were yelling pretty loud at him. He came out of the car slowly. It's something that he would do all over again if he had to, saying it just felt like I did what I needed to in order to get him out of the car and hold him there until law enforcement could get there. Sheriff Hickman wasn't surprised at all that 2 of his citizens stepped up to help. He said, "It's just a good little county, you know. I knew that they would help, and anybody who saw him would have called us or done the same thing." He jumped out with their gun. They jumped out with their gun and held him if they could have. Now, see, I find this interesting because I've also heard a lot of police chiefs or whatever who have this idea that they're almost afraid of their citizens carrying firearms, which is ridiculous. If someone's going to carry a firearm, they are generally trained and they're trying to be respectful of law enforcement and trying to make certain that that they are working with their citizens to provide for safety, just like in this one situation. So all police chiefs should be very welcoming of responsible gun owners who can help them out, especially if they're not going to be able to respond in a reasonable time. It's definitely a good guy with a gun. I mean, there's a saying there: when seconds count, police are minutes away, and that is very many times the case. So always be in your best, most responsible position. Get a gun and learn how to use it and learn how to properly employ it. Anyways, continuing on, Parks was in jail on a capital murder charge for the death of his girlfriend, Christy Rooks, whose remains were found this past January. The 2 guards that were attacked by Parks and Gilliam did not sustain serious injuries and are recovering. The 2 guards who were attacked, I'm not going to repeat that, it's just for some reason said twice. Anyways, okay, next story.
And thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Tony Lopez.
And I'm Adrienne Moore. Let's get to tonight's 7 and 11. Everything you need to know for 7 and 7 Newscast.
And Adrienne, we'll start with breaking news tonight. A homeowner shoots an intruder in in Sacramento County after a police chase spanning 2 counties.
CBS 13's Rick Boone joins us live from the scene. Very latest, Rick.
Hey there, Adrian and Tony. I just got off the phone with Mark. Police spoke just 5 seconds ago before I started this camera. Here's the very latest. How we now know how this all started. Police tell me this actually began last night with the suspect being rammed with businesses trying to rob them. Then they caught back up with that suspect today.
Suspect being shot towards them.
A Sacramento County homeowner shoots a burglary suspect, an adult male, during a massive multi-law enforcement chase. Deputies say it started in Rockland as police they were following the burglary suspect and soon turned into a pursuit that went on and off I-80. That chase ended just off the Auburn exit. The suspect jumped out of his black SUV and entered the backyard of a home on Belmont Place Lane. Deputies say out of fear, the resident fired a shot at the suspect, striking him. The burglary suspect was arrested and now hospitalized. His injuries are not known. A woman in the SUV was also arrested. Deputies say at this point the homeowner is not facing any charges.
The elderly homeowner is the one who shot the suspect. The elderly homeowner is okay. The suspect's the only one that's been shot.
We believe that the homeowner was in fear for his life and in fear of his life did use deadly force on this suspect.
And as of this hour, the condition of that suspect is still not known. He was shot by that homeowner in this housing unit right behind me. As for the very latest on this investigation, units still on the scene and still may be here for some time.
Okay, let's go on to the next the next article over here. Police say intruder shot and killed breaking into ex's house. Okay, it's Lexington, Kentucky. Lexington police say a man was shot and killed after he allegedly broke into his ex's house. This is a good reason why people, like women who are in a bad relationship or an abusive relationship, should get a firearm and learn how to use it. Okay, officers say the shooting happened on Friday night just before 11 p.m. on Alice Drive. The homeowner told officers the man broke into her home and began shooting, according to police. Another person living in the house apparently shot back, hitting the intruder, police say. According to the coroner's office, the intruder, James Miller, died on scene. Police say Miller had active warrants for domestic abuse, for domestic violence, and robbery of a Lexington hotel. Investigators say they don't anticipate any charges against the shooter at this time. Well, obviously not because she's doing self-defense. So, yeah, if this is a strong and good reason why you can be able to defend yourself, especially those who are potential victims of domestic abuse, which is a possibility, especially since this is an ex situation. Just make sure you provide for your own defense. Thank you for watching, and if you're willing to, please consider donating at the Patreon link below so that I can continue to improve the quality of the videos, as well as to increase their exposure so the YouTube algorithm puts them in front of more eyes. Have a good night.